And hello all, CJ here and welcome back. So today we got ghosts, scary, paranormal, loads of mad stuff, aliens. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it, shall we?
Describe encounters with children or teenagers whose eyes are entirely black, with no visible whites or irises. Witnesses often describe an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, and the encounters typically follow a pattern. The children appear at doorsteps or in car parks, often at night, politely, but insistently asking to be let in. While skeptics attribute the phenomenon to contact lenses, urban legend, or simple misidentification, believers point to the consistency of witness accounts spanning decades and multiple countries. Whether this footage captured a genuine anomaly or just a trick of the light and camera angle, the image of a black-eyed child appearing uninvited behind an unsuspecting person is enough to make anyone uneasy.
What do you think about black eyes? What would you do if a child come knocking your door and they had black eyes, like the black as the night, you know what I mean? Would it be horrible? Like, they come in, like, you know, I've lost my mommy. What would you do? Would you let them in? Would you let them in?
I want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing.
I know this is AI, right? Is it? I know this is AI. Do you think this is how it's going to go down? It's just going to be like a video of, like a conference of, you know, President Trump, Elon Musk, you know, all the officials woken up like that. Or what kind of disclosure do you think we're going to get?
A lot of things from...
Because this wouldn't shock me. Do you think... Looks quite real, doesn't it?
They want to find out about...
Looks quite real. You know? What if someone did catch a sneaky peek of it?
3 a.m. A guy suddenly wakes up after hearing odd sounds coming from outside his place. At first, the noises are quiet, unclear, almost like far-off movement mixed with soft mumbling that doesn't sound recognizable at all. Still half sleeping, but obviously disturbed, he turns toward the window, attempting to figure out what could possibly be creating those sounds at that time. But when he eventually looks out, it's not only the noise that grabs his focus. He spots something else.
Estoy escuchando ruidos afuera, son 3:30 de la mañana. No sé si salir o
Oh.
Es ella.
It looks like...
Yo no te voy a tener miedo. Hoy no te tengo miedo.
You're not like a person. Oh, there it is.
Date vuelta. Date vuelta.
Don't follow it.
Date vuelta.
Don't follow it. And the dog barking as well.
Dressed in white moves right past his window. Whether this was a real person or...
I don't think it was a real person. That was freaky deaky. I know. I definitely wouldn't bloody follow the thing. I know. Right, let's get some paranormal in here. Have a look.
I see that. This is the third time I've come through, and this is exactly how I've seen them. 3 times now.
Oh. Look up on the inside, didn't it? Or was there something thrown at it?
Tell me I'm on fucking crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch.
Oh.
See that?
Oh god, this is gonna be a jump scare in there.
Fuck.
Oh.
What the fuck? Tell me I'm
No.
not fucking crack, dude.
I like how nonchalant he is with it all. Like, I've seen the shape, tell me I'm not on it, man. Oh, I love that. Right, here we go.
I feel like I'm being stripped down and prepared for something else. Now that's maybe very personal, but I feel like the Almighty's preparing me to do something big.
Nobody was supposed to see
I
this
feel like
version of
sometimes.
Christ. Not in your lifetime. Not ever. For 1700 years, there has existed a portrait of Jesus so fundamentally different from anything the Western Church allowed its congregations to read that the men who controlled the institution spent centuries making sure every copy was tracked down and destroyed. They voted to ban the texts that contained it. They ordered the manuscripts burned. They labeled the writings too dangerous for ordinary believers. And for over 1,000 years, it worked. Billions of people lived and died without ever encountering the original description of who Jesus actually was, according to the people who knew him first. But they didn't get every copy. In cliff-face monasteries carved into the mountains of northern Ethiopia, monks kept writing. They kept copying. Generation after generation, century after century, in dim stone rooms, lit by oil lamps mixing ink from minerals and plants, shaping every character of an ancient script with hands that cramped and eyes that eventually failed. They did it because they believed what they were preserving was sacred, not forbidden, not dangerous, sacred. And for 1,500 years, while the rest of Christianity was handed a softer, simpler, more manageable version, those monks guarded the original. Now, the filmmaker who already proved once that he would tell the unfiltered version of this story, regardless of what it cost him, has read what they preserved. He's spending $250 million to put it on IMAX screens. And what Mel Gibson is building right now inside Cinecittà Studios in Rome is a version of Jesus Christ that most of the Western world has never been told existed. You have to start in 2004 because without what happened then, none of what's coming next makes any sense. Mel Gibson directed a film that every studio in Hollywood refused to finance. He put up his own money. He mortgaged his own future on it. He shot the entire thing in Aramaic, Latin, and Hebrew, dead languages nobody had spoken in that context for 2,000.
The thing is, see, right, that's my problem with religion, organized religion. Now, I don't bash anyone if they want to go to church or anything like that, but I do believe over the centuries that people in power have manipulated the story, etc., to control the masses. And I do believe there's a lot of things that are kept away from us. And I just don't understand why. The only logical explanation I can come to is the fact that they just want to use it to control us. And if we all knew the truth, we wouldn't have half of the stuff that we wouldn't deal with half the stuff we have to deal with. But it always seems to be Christianity under attack.
1,000 years. No commercial softening, no theological compromise, no mercy for audiences who wanted something comfortable. The Passion of the Christ depicted the final 12 hours of Jesus' life with a physical intensity that left theaters shaken. The scourging, the crown of thorns, the slow collapsing march to Calvary. Critics called it excessive. Audiences called it the most unflinching portrayal of Christ's suffering ever committed to film. It earned over $612 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. It became the highest-grossing R-rated film in American history, a record it held for nearly 2 decades. It remains the highest-grossing independent film ever made. The people who said it would ruin Gibson were wrong. The people who said audiences didn't want unfiltered religious cinema were spectacularly wrong. But Gibson never claimed the story was complete. From the very beginning, he said publicly that The Passion only told half the narrative. It ended at the tomb. What happened after that, what the oldest Christian texts say occurred across every realm of existence, not just inside a garden outside Jerusalem, that story had never been told. Not by any filmmaker, not in any medium, not once in the history of cinema. He spent the next 2 decades trying to figure out how to tell it. And what he found in those years of research led him to manuscripts that most Western Christians have never been told exist. On the Joe Rogan Experience, Gibson revealed he had been working from 2 scripts. One was traditional, structured, close to what audiences would expect. The other, in his exact words, was like an acid trip. He described a journey through multiple realms, through hell, through angelic hierarchies, through dimensions of reality that don't operate on human time. He said the film had to begin with the fall of the angels. You're in another place, he told Rogan. You're in another realm. You need to go to hell. You need to go to Sheol. He said the story spans from the fall of the angels to the death of the last apostle, not a 3-day window, a cosmic arc. Most people heard that interview and assumed Gibson was being theatrical. He wasn't. He was describing almost word for word what a set of ancient texts have always said happened. texts that were written within
Yeah.
living memory of the apostles, texts that the authors of the New Testament themselves quoted, texts that were deliberately banned, burned, and erased from Western Christianity because the men who ran the institution decided ordinary people should never encounter what they...
The thing is, see, right, that's my, it's like, last year I got christened. I believe Jesus walked the earth. I believe in a God. I believe in another realm. I really do. But my issue with this sometimes is I don't know what do I do? Which path do I go down? Like, the different Bibles say different things, and the whole truth isn't there, is it? It's not all there. It doesn't matter if the truth is going to hurt us. It doesn't matter if the truth is going to make us afraid. It doesn't matter how the truth is going to affect us. We need the truth. If we can have the truth, then maybe people's understanding of the world and the understanding of other aspects of it will become easy to understand, basically, if that made any sense, if you know what I mean. Let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below.
CERN turned on its biggest portal April 27, 2026. Scientists have reported that something came right out of that portal and sat right down at a table with them. This is a frequency war, y'all. It is more important than ever to make sure that you are prepared, because the war is for your consciousness and it's fought through frequency and vibration. And these are our tools to fight back. 136.1 hertz. When I strike that like that and I place it on my body, it's a penetrative frequency, so it penetrates all the way down to the bone and marrow, interacting with my cerebral spinal fluid. It's like a remote control to my nervous system. 221.20.
I should try that for my bad back.
23 hertz, that's the pineal gland, the throne of God. They take my videos down like this, so if that orange cart is showing up for you, grab this protective set while you still can.
The thing is, it was a while back, I was watching a scientific program, and it was saying that atoms obviously vibrate, don't they? And when atoms get really cold, they stop. When they get really cold, hot, they vibrate more. That's what kind of generates heat then, so to speak. This is what I was getting from it. So I can believe that depending on what kind of frequency you are on, the more your mind is open to certain things, and the more, like, the higher frequency, I think you are more protected from entities that are on lower frequencies, like like feed off your depression, feed off your bad mood, or anything like that, you know. So I think there's a lot of truth in that, and I think when our frequencies get higher, I think that more of reality is going to be revealed. You know, what do you think?
This is pretty bizarre. I don't know who has seen this or not, but at the most recent UFC fight during the pre-show on the Vegas Sphere, they ran some pretty questionable wording, and they did it at lightning speed, almost like subliminal messaging. So I'm going to play it at normal speed. I'm going to play just a clip of it, and then we'll slow it down. And
yeah, we all know that, don't we?
Investing with the UCPI in Mexico, he sees what they do, how they show up, how they support their fans. So it's amazing to me to see the growth of the sport. The Mexican fighters are here. The Mexican-born fighters are...
And slowed.
Want everything.
They're pretty obvious.
It's inevitable.
Right here.
I know. Oh.
You know, the people that would say it's just words. It's
that
not
ain't
just
words.
Why would you put those things in there? Everything has meaning, and everything in this world right now is trying to just detour us off the path of God and get us away. Even this stuff, even the subliminal stuff. Right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
it's telling you everything with there. I would say fishes.
Pretty sad world. This.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, I think we all, I think a lot of, like if you're watching stuff like this, like I certainly watch stuff like this, obviously. But I think I don't care how bad the truth is. I don't care how, I really don't care. I just want to know the truth. I just want to know it all. And I believe that, you know, I think we all know we're being lied to on such a high scale, and I do believe that a lot of it has got to do spiritually. I genuinely believe that evil is running this world. You only got to look with your own eyes to see what's there. The world is evil, and we live here.
Bigger, there was a time not long ago that if you mentioned life on other planets on television on a show like this, people would laugh at you. Tinfoil hat, right? They do that deliberately. The country is different now. Many people are now paying attention to this and taking it seriously. We now know there were at least 12 scientists and military officials tied to UFO and nuclear research.
It's obvious, isn't it? Why, you know what I mean? They're shutting people up and they're sending a message. That's what they're doing. They're sending a message. Keep your mouth shut or bad things are going to happen.
Who have gone missing. Last week it was 11, now it's 12, all mysteriously, including Matthew Sullivan, an Air Force veteran who was set to testify about UFOs on Capitol Hill, but died mysteriously of a drug overdose.
Come on.
Just moments, check that, months.
Right, a former Air Force intelligence officer who has agreed. I mean, there's no way he ain't on drugs, is he? Look how healthy and thing he looks. You know what I mean? It's just stupid.
Before the hearing, and according to Congressman Eric Burlison today, quote, a young scientist named Joshua working on the nuclear technology we'd need to reach Mars turned up dead in a Tesla crash after his car drove 2 hours by itself on rural Missouri back roads, then crashed and burned his body beyond recognition.
On, 2 hours.
Suspicious about that. Several members of Congress are now questioning what's happening. The family members are asking questions, including Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, who has been very vocal and very honest.
I am not having an AI-driven car. I'll ride a bicycle first. I will go everywhere on a bike. There's no way I'm letting AI declare whether, we'll go. No,
about what he thinks is going on. Congressman, good to have you back.
Yeah.
The scientist died because his Tesla drove 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is from the police report. 2 hours on its own, crashed and then burst into flames. If that was true, nobody would ever buy a Tesla again, Congressman. What do you think happened here?
I think clearly someone's sending a message of one or two things. Either they want to squash our technology, or they're warning others not to come forward with our abilities and what they know. It can't be anything else. It's very clear to me. I know that the FBI is investigating this, and I hope they do it very vigorously. In the past, the FBI, I think, has been part of the problem in covering it up, but under Cash Patel and President Trump, I don't think that's the case. So that's what I hope we get to the bottom of it. But unfortunately, we've lost these lives. And it's the one general leaves his house without his wallet and his cell phone, but he takes his 38 revolver and his holster.
And he didn't take his glasses. He wore glasses every single day, which is so bizarre. By the way, Elon Musk has not mentioned this, and he will mention anytime something happens with a Tesla. He's pretty good about tweeting about it. He has not tweeted about this Tesla that drove around on its own, apparently, for 2 hours, then crashed, and then killed the passenger, which we found very odd. I want to play this soundbite for you. This is 3 weeks ago tonight. You came on this show, you said something that literally, Congressman, created like an entire ecosystem of theories and questions. Take a look.
If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think.
So without violating any confidentiality, what were you referencing?
I was actually a member of our leadership had encouraged me and another member to go and be briefed on an incident that occurred with multiple witnesses, and it was very telling, and it defied everything that we have. And then you combine that with the multiple other briefings that I've had, and it's just too much, brother. It's too much. America needs to know. The president needs to put this stuff out And my biggest fear, once again, is going to be just like Schumer. You remember a couple of years ago when I tried to get them to release everything, and Schumer had a 60-page bill to do exactly the same thing. He modeled it after the Kennedy files releasing, which 60 plus years later, we still don't know the answers. And every dadgum time, they hide it. They hide it under national defense. They'll say, oh, this has to do with national defense. We can't disclose this. And that's the caveat. Don't let them do that. We have got to release everything.
Well, why don't you just
Donald J. Trump can do that.
You moved that ball down the field 3 weeks ago. Why not continue that process tonight and tell us more? Tell us more. What's going on? What is it? What'd you see? What'd you hear? What is it?
Well, the problem is I was in a skiff and I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Why not resign from Congress today and hold a press conference tomorrow?
I think Miss Burchett would probably have words with you, brother.
Well,
you know, the thing is, see, right, like with the technology, I'm sure other superpowers got it too, if they all know about it. Okay, that I think that when it comes to that kind of technology, they say national defense, right? I think they've got a lot of technology, but they haven't got a clue how to use it. And I think there's a lot of technology in there as well that would make our lives around the earth a lot better. But certain companies, certain people do not want that release because they make so much money off oil and certain things like that. They need everyone to shut up. And you know what I mean? You got these people who, they got so much money, so much influence, so much power, they can make people disappear like that with no consequences, nothing, you know. So I think we will get disclosure, but I don't think it's what we're gonna want. I really don't. I think they're just gonna, and if like they say, like we watched that video with Trump walking with the aliens. If people seen that on TV, they'd be like, okay, yeah, okay, we know kind of this. It wouldn't shock me to see an alien on TV. Well, I'd want to see right then, how did they get here? What kind of technology they got? Where did they come from? You know what I mean? Was this, was that, was this, you know? And I think, I don't think we're going to get the full picture. I really don't. What do you think?
This next footage was uploaded by a woman from Indonesia. Her account isn't about the paranormal, just everyday moments from her workplace. However, everything changes on May 7th, 2025. That evening, she spotted someone standing outside the door and opened it for them. Only later did she realize that whoever or whatever entered was far from ordinary.
Oh, so she seen something.
Oh, cari konten gimana? Bercowok sama cewek? Benar. Ini saya ada rekomendasi yang lain ya. Nah, kalau ini lebih segar, kalau yang ini lebih dari untuk ceweknya ya. Jadi cowok atau cewek? Kalau dari sopo? Soalnya gue dari sini, aku tuh bukan orang itu. Terus mereka aku ini kan orangnya kan takut buat cewek sama cowok. Aku bukain orang. Karena uang ya. Ya Allah, kamu beneran. Uang itu belum ya kan? Nanti masuk aku lihat orang kan aku kasih bilang di sini. Terus aku bukain.
She clearly opens the door for someone no one else can see. She keeps talking with the customer, asking about a perfume for a woman and a man. Moments later, her partner comes over and asks who she's talking to.
Cray.
And that's when it hits her. She's been speaking to something unseen. She explains she let a woman into the store. The man looks around, baffled. There's no one there.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine doing that, right? And then someone coming out and saying to you, there's no one there. Like, yeah, obviously there was someone there. And then going back onto a camera and then there's no one there and you're talking, and you know what I mean? That's it then. Well, if that doesn't make you believe, you sign yourself in, wouldn't you? Because I know I would. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed today's videos. If you've got any thoughts on any of the clips in the video, please let me know down below. And if you want me to cover anything, just write it in the comments and see what we can do. But that's going to be it. So thanks for watching. Stay safe. And don't forget, fill yourself full of love. It will protect you. CJ out.